Hi class and Dr. Ludwig. My name is Brooklyn Lincoln and this is my pathogen presentation for Trypanosoma brucei. First, I wanted to introduce it. It is a kentoplastid protozoa, which means that it has a kentoplast, which is a region in its body that contains DNA. It has one flagella, as you can see, and a single mitochondria. It lives in our bloodstream and the bloodstream of other animals. It has two main virulence factors. The flagella that you see there actually lets it into our blood-brain barrier, which causes the debilitating neurological symptoms that are associated with African sleeping sickness. And the other virulence factor is a variable surface glycoprotein coat, which makes it unrecognizable to our immune system. That way, our immune system has to respond to it like it's a completely new pathogen, and it makes it a lot harder for our bodies to fight off. T. brucei causes human African trypanomyosis, more commonly known as African sleeping sickness, because of its symptoms. And I chose this pathogen because the disease interests me, and I wanted to know more about it, and I wanted to see what we can do about it. T. brucei is an obligate parasite. We need it, or they need us to live as hosts. They cannot survive outside of hosts, so that is why we cannot get T. brucei just from simply our environment. It has to be spread through the tsetse fly, which is only found in Africa, and it is harbored in animals and spread through the saliva of the tsetse fly. There are actually two strains of African sleeping sickness. There is TB gambionase in the West Africa, so specifically Gambia. It accounts for 97% of all the cases of African sleeping sickness, so the majority of our data actually is specific towards TB gambionase because it is more prevalent. This is the more chronic side, so it takes a longer time to develop and the symptoms are more mild. Then we have TB rhodionase, which is in East Africa. It is more acute and rapid, so the symptoms are way more intense, and it only accounts for 3%, so we don't know a ton about it, and a lot of the information I will share today is specifically towards TB gambionase, but it also relates to both. So next, the life cycle. The tsetse fly is infected when it takes infected blood from an animal or a human, and then it is infected, and it will then inject it into our bodies when it goes to take our blood. Then we get the trimastigotes in our body, and then they multiply and they attack our central nervous system. In the fly's gut, the epimastigotes are brought up to the salivary glands, and that is how it injects us when it takes our blood. Next, we have two stages. The first stage is headache, malaise, fever, nausea, weakness, and weight loss. These aren't super specific symptoms, so a lot of people don't know that they're infected with T. brucei until at least 200 days, which is when the second stage sets in, and that is when you have the sleep-wake cycle is reversed, where you can't stay awake during the day and then you can't fall asleep at night. You also have intense hallucinations, sensory malfunctions like vision problems, neurological symptoms like seizure, coma, and hallucinations are part of that. It is fatal if not treated. It is very rare to live longer than 6 years. Actually, 80% of people die within the first 6 months. The way that we test for this is testing the cerebral spinal fluid, which indicates that you have trypomastigotes in your body. Treatment includes drugs. It used to include pentamine, suramin, and mesoprostol, but those have been taken a back seat to fexinidazole because that was released in 2018 and has shown to be more effective within 10 days, which is great. We don't have a vaccine, so our control is a majority of our control is aimed at the tsetse fly, basically just trying to limit your exposure to them, like wearing long sleeve clothing, avoiding bushes and trees, and using insect repellent. And that is the only way that we can prevent this disease. This is my article that I found. This was actually published in the New York Times on November 16th, 2018 by Donald McNeil. It explained that in 2018, the drug fexinidazole was approved by Europe's Drug Regulatory Agency, and it is known to cure African sleeping sickness in 10 days. It was initially created in 1980, but the project was scrapped, and then it was reevaluated in 2009, but it had to go through extensive trials, so that is why it officially passed in 2018. The article also explained that it is a huge step for those who are ill and will become ill because this is an extremely fatal disease. Sleeping sickness is an underrated disease that causes horrific symptoms, and it needs to be publicized more so that people are more aware of it and know what's going on. And these are my references. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you.